All right, so a lot of time has passed between that last clip and this clip. It's probably been 2-3 months maybe. Our life's gotten away or whatever, so we're picking back up where we left off, and I'll show you guys how we wire or how we put together the switch box for it. This is all manual paddle valves for it. We're gonna rerun the rest of the lines, wiring up the compressor, going on from there. All right, so you got 2 gauges here, and in each gauge there's 2 needles. One needle would be for your front bag or rear bag, and the other needle would be vice versa for your front or rear bag. And that pretty much just tells you the pressure on each bag.
Essentially, you're monitoring each wheel.
Right, it'll tell you what
and I think
in what bag.
This is front left, front right, rear left, rear right.
Yes.
I think is like how we have it set up.
Yeah. And then these will be your 2 supply lines out of your tank. Pretty much we're gonna take this and mount it up under the dash, or kind of like in the middle of the dash, so like where the radio would be.
And if you're installing these hoses were a pain in the... So what we did, a little trick, we just barely heated it with a lighter, softened it up a little bit, and she slid right on.
I do my best.
Yep.
I gave it the old college try.
So this is gonna go right there, and then this is gonna hook in there, but there's a special fitting that I actually had to run to Lowe's and get it because I used the fitting that Steve supplied with the kit on my compressor because I didn't want to run to the store when I was hooking up my new compressor.
I came over a couple months back and made this bracket here, and we got it all lined up to where we can bolt the compressor down to it. But we made sure when we made the bracket, we made it sit low enough down so it doesn't hit the bed. So pretty much the head of the compressor is just right below the frame rail.
Because normally you could actually mount this compressor upside down or to the side of the frame right here, but the frame of this truck was actually completely rusted out, so we had to cut this out anyway. So we just took advantage of that situation and made a bracket.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna bolt the tank down, run our lines, our 2 supply lines, or to the switch box, which are 2 supply lines come out of these feeds right here. All right, so this thing's all bolted down. We're gonna plug this in and this in with the. We gotta get the fitting first, but we're gonna run some thread dope around this or Loctite, so that way we know we don't have any air leaking. And this is like pretty much like a swivel hose. So this is a swivel end down here, so you can move that thing in any which direction you want. And this is your power and ground.
Clay just broke out with the thread dope, so you could either use your Teflon tape or thread dope.
So darn messy.
Daggone.
I'll tell you one thing.
We're gonna put it right here in the side of the tank. Yep, there we go. Now we just gotta tighten her down with a wrench. So now that the compressor is mounted, we've got it lined into the tank. I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of these fittings. We're gonna basically hook all the fittings up to the tank, and then we're gonna bolt the tank down. There's the pitcock right there. Everything's labeled. That goes on the bottom of the tank. Right here is the airline fittings. There's 2. And then those go into the front half of the tank right there where you see those 2 red caps. This right here is kind of cool. This is like an air chuck. What would you call this? Because this is like a little bonus thing that Steve throws in with his kits. You can hook up anything. You can put air in your tire. You can even hook up an air tool, whatever you want to do. So this thing is actually like a pretty cool feature. So if you've got any type of pneumatic tools, you can use that. So if you get a flat, you can put air in it.
You get a wrench?
Put a wrench on there. It's the wrong size, dude. No, be nice. Look, it's gonna be this one.
Run that mouth. Run your mouth. Probably the first time you've ever had to use these things.
Easy, Clay.
Pretty much all the way out.
Yep, you just turn it all the way out. That's letting air out. And then you tighten it up. Bam.
You twist it in to let the air out.
Twist it in to let the air out?
Twist it in to let the air out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
No. You loosen it up to let air out, and then you tighten it to keep air from getting...
Yeah,
keep the air in.
It this way.
Yeah, you leave it tight.
That's what I'm saying.
No, that's not what you said. No, you said you twist it out. Whatever. For this end of the tank, you got this brass T-fitting right here. That's going to basically go onto the end, and then this is a brass Schrader valve. That is a cool feature, so you can actually put air into the tank. So let's say the compressor stops working, but you need to get air into the tank. You could just hook up any other compressor or an airline or stop at a gas station or anything and then put air into your tank. Let's get this all in and you'll understand once it's all in. And let me just say, like, to install this kit should not take as long as it took us.
Realistically, you could have this done in a day.
In a day.
Right.
I would say
if you're by yourself, like which 100 times, that's how I am.
Yeah,
by myself.
On an older vehicle, you got to take into account like all the bolts that broke. And I'd say, me personally, I'd say just plan a weekend.
Use your strong hand.
Clay is pulling out all this hose. First is running the supply line into the cab. We're gonna figure out where we're gonna run the line through. I know we talked about it before. What we're gonna do here is, there's a giant hole right there where the clutch cable line goes through. Eventually, we're not even gonna be using that, because once we switch this over to the automatic, basically we're just gonna have a gaping hole right there. So we're gonna take advantage of that hole, and that's where we're gonna send all of our airlines through. From the
we're gonna start
back
from the rear, and then we're gonna run up this way.
Okay, so we'll come up the frame rail, and then we'll come all the way up into the cab, and then you just basically just push it in there, and then you hear that little snap. She's in there. That's it. And then after we get all this done, I'll come through and tidy and make everything look all neat. And we're gonna leave a little bit of slack right here, just so we can.
Yeah, you get to lay up underneath the truck.
Yeah, because we took it off.
You sure you know how to work on stuff?
No.
Me neither.
Dude, we should have this thing wrapped up in what, an hour? It's not gonna be an hour, I promise you. Not very good on time management, I can promise you that. But here, got everything pretty much set out on the table. This is all we got left. We gotta run the rest of the airline hoses to each bag. We've got all the electrical, we just gotta do all that. Got this relay that we've gotta put in. We've got the gauges. This is the wiring for the bulbs right there. This is an inline fuse, which will come right off the battery, goes straight to this relay. I think we're gonna mount this relay right there. There's already a wire with a screw and a ground, so I'll just pull that out and I'll just mount that relay right there. Later on, I'll probably move it, clean everything up, but we're just gonna get these bags going so we could see this thing finally go up and down. That's what we've all been waiting for, is to actually see these things working. What's kind of cool is Steve, he throws in a new battery terminal. I already replaced my battery terminals, but this thing's really nice, so I think we might slap this one on here. If you guys need more specific details on installation on this, if you head over to EZ Air Ride, under each kit, Steve has instructions and guidelines to everything. I'll put up a wiring diagram right here, and it'll show you the full wiring layout. I know watching wiring on videos can be a little bit confusing and a little hard to understand, so I'm gonna try to do my best here and explain to you each thing. Sometimes what I like to do is label my wiring. This one right here is gonna go to the battery, and this red wire, I believe, for my kit will not be used. Just wanna make sure you get a good ground. This really isn't the ideal spot I would want to put this, but there was already a screw here. How does that work? Just goes in a complete circle. So we're gonna unhook this battery, leave everything unhooked until we're completely done with it, and then we're gonna just wire in this new battery terminal. This is going to be power wire from the compressor to the battery. So we're basically taking this wire, run it all the way from the compressor all the way up front to that relay. We're going to put this 40 amp fuse in here. Took this wire, stuck it to the fuse box, so once ignition is on, lets us know when we got power. So now we got to get this button down, should be good to go, and then we're about to see these bags go up and down. Now it's run all the lines to the bags. I'm going to start with this one because this is going to be the furthest bag away, and then we're going to run that all the way up in there. So I'm leaving everything kind of loose in there. Just once it's all done, I'm going to go back through everything, button it up, clean it up. Okay, so yeah, got it labeled rear right, and go ahead, hook the hose up. She's in there. So this is the rear driver's side. So now we're gonna pretty much install this right here. The way I'm gonna do is front left, front right, rear left, rear right, and that way, so if I want to do the two fronts at the same time or the two rears at the same time, I use those two fingers. Heat it up with the lighter just a little bit, just enough to get it to go on front right. So this is where this Schrader valve is going to come in handy. That in there. This is going to basically allow us to put air into the tank. I think this door is kind of open. We put the bed back on there. We want to get the full effect. We didn't put the rear bumper back on yet. Need to clean up that tank, but there is all the magic right underneath there. So, and then you've got this quick release piece right there. So if we want to hook up air or do anything, we got that. There's our bags. We got new shocks too, but haven't put those on. We'll put those on later. Got new shocks for the front. Quick look around. There's the front bag. Later on, we're gonna do 2-inch drop spindles on it. Show you everything underneath. And we're gonna just do a quick walk around. Battery terminal that we put on there, which wires everything up. Keep in mind, I have not gone through and cleaned up all my wiring and stuff. I am gonna make everything look a lot neater, tie everything down. It's the same with my airline. All my air hose is going through there. It's a little bit loose right now. We're just testing it out. We're gonna bring it up and down. But once everything's all done, I am going to go through and clean everything up, zip tie it all together, make it look nice. I mean, this is her pretty much all the way up. It's like monster truck status right there. We're gonna let Laura do the first slamming on this. These two on the left side. This is front left, front right, and then this is rear left, rear right. So that's up, up, and then you push them down, and that goes down. You wanna do it, buddy?
I think Robin wants to do it.
Here, push them down. See? Isn't that cool? Hold those two and I'll hold these two. Okay? You hold those two down and I'll hold these two. And we're gonna go, the truck's gonna go down. 1, 2, 3, go. Hold them. Now she's all the way down. Whoa.
Keep pushing.
Look at that. There you have it. We're finally bagged. The forgotten C10 is on the ground. Now that you see it on the truck, everything's working. It's got your approval?
I guess so.
We have to give a big shout out to Steve with EZ Air Ride. This is one of his kits and I absolutely love it. It's super easy install. Now, me taking forever with my install, that's all on me because it actually looks super nice in the truck. Now that we have bags on the truck, now it makes me want to really get this other engine put in it and get this thing driving.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking that today. You're doing all this stuff and it doesn't even drive.
Right. So, yeah, it doesn't drive yet. We're going to swap the engine. We're actually taking out the inline 6. So if you guys are new and just joining this C10 build, we're actually taking that out. And then we've got our other engine sitting right here on the engine stand. This is a small block 350 4-bolt main. It came out of a 69 Impala. 300 horse, and then we've got the turbo 350 trans right there. We're gonna swap that in here, and once we do that, she should be right. Probably gonna have to tackle the braking system too. So next step, I think I want to try to get the engine in here, get this thing running, and then we're gonna have to tackle the brakes. I want to put a fuel cell in here and get the fuel tank out from behind the seat. We mounted the bed back on here, taking her one step at a time. We are gonna bring it down lower. We're gonna put some 2-inch drop spindles on this, and Clay was saying something about pocketing the lower control arms, and I'm thinking about C-notching the rear. I don't wanna go too crazy. We might go crazy, babe. With that being said, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. And again, if you're just joining us for these C10 videos, I have a playlist on the channel for all the C10 videos, so if you wanna go back and watch every video from the day we picked up this truck from the estate sale up until this point and further, check them out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.